Hello and welcome back to Digital Asset Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. I'm having a fresh hot cup of coffee to get through this video tonight, as I want to share a perspective, pretty much my view and take on reading this article. February 3rd, 2021, a fresh new content stating China's central bank is partnering with SWIFT on a new joint venture. Now, as we scroll down into this, the key things that stood out to me: the Global Interbank Settlement Organization SWIFT is partnering with the People's Bank of China PBOC. SWIFT and PBOC subsidiaries, including the Digital Currency Research Institute, DCRI, and the bank's clearing center, have registered with the Chinese government to found a company called Finance Gateway Information Services Company. It's unclear what the new venture's mission is, and public records dated February 3rd, 2021 say it will be involved in information systems, aggregation, data processing, and technology consultancy. So, having said that, it made me think of Huawei joins hands with DCRI to develop fintech. Now, Huawei, a Chinese multinational technology company, joined hands with China's Digital Currency Research Institute, DCRI, to develop fintech and digital currency. And what does that have to do with the importance of the issue in this discussion? Well, Huawei launched its Hyperledger-based blockchain as a service platform, its BOZ. And Huawei also has plans to launch blockchain in Latin America. But that brought me back to this. The IBM client's DLT, connecting DLT, IBM, and Hyperledger, can be extended to a public solution on Stellar. Hyperledger Fabric is IBM's private permission DLT solution and is open sourced underneath Hyperledger Foundation, a Linux Foundation DLT extension. The Development Foundation, the SDF, joined the Hyperledger Foundation also as an associate member. In public network on Stellar, IBM provides the following Stellar-related DLT products. And again, focusing on DLT and IBM, coming back to another thought, which connects to Ripple, IBM, and SWIFT joining the EU policymakers to develop DLT. So you can see the whole focus again coming back to DLT. So as I often show from the beginning of this channel, everywhere I find Ripple, I can find Stellar, and everywhere I find Stellar, I can show you Ripple. Now, having said that, the initial design of Ripple being wholesale and Stellar being retail, but not limited to. So I wanted to point out the recently INATBA basically added some interesting new partner members, including IBM and SWIFT, to sit with Ripple et al. And discuss the future of the EU. So Ripple looks set to replace or partner with SWIFT, while IBM uses Stellar to settle payments over DLT. To say interesting development is an understatement. And then it made me think of this. The Blockchain Galaxy is a comprehensive research on DLT. And then let's jump right here. And on the main source of the discussion, we have Hyperledger, we have Stellar, and we have Ripple. Another thing I'm going to point out, I'm going to add into this discussion Tempo, which is basically a European-wide anchor grounded in Paris, and it's for Stellar blockchain payments. And what I'm going to point out in this is the EURT is a digital asset that's stabilizing the value of the EUR, backed by on-hand cash. 1 EURT equals 1 EUR. And now another thing I want to point out in connection with Huawei is it warns of the quantum threat to Bitcoin, crypto, and blockchain. Well, what do we have here but IBM quantum computing and Google quantum computing? But also to remember that Google was a founding investor of both Ripple and Stellar. Now, as we scroll down, I want to highlight something stated here from David Schwartz. But what I do want to point out is this. David Schwartz states it's definitely a threat, but fortunately it's not that difficult to add new crypto algorithms to the XRP ledger, and you can keep your existing receiving addresses as well. So as for Bitcoin and other digital assets, they are just as vulnerable as XRP. As open source technology, the solution would likely be shared. So David Schwartz, aka Joel Katz, states, yes, additional algorithms can easily be added, just as we added the ED25519. Existing accounts can be resecured with a new key if desired, so you won't need a new Ripple address. We haven't actually added any quantum safe algorithms yet because none of the ones available today are perfect for our use case, and any algorithm we add will have to support forever. So we'd prefer to wait as long as we safely can so that we'll have the most information to make the choice of algorithms to implement. So stating he can add the additional algorithms for the protection of XRP even with those. Now, next article that came to mind was IBM and Stellar are launching blockchain banking across multiple countries. And then as I scroll down into this, I want to point out both Stellar and IBM are part of a project called Hyperledger Fabric, which is building open source blockchain tools to support payment infrastructure. So the Bank of China partners with IBM to drive digital transformation, and it has revealed that it is expanding its partnership program with the global tech giant IBM to develop new innovations for the bank's digital transformation project, which will include areas such as customer experience, ecosystem building, and business innovation. And having gotten into that, since launching its own digital currency initiative over 5 years ago, the People's Bank of China, PBOC, China's central bank, has kept its mouth shut on the matter. And the world outside only knew of China's intentions due to leaks and offhand comments made here and there. Hence, there has been much speculation as to the details of the project. But as a top industry venture capitalist recently joined in on the speculation train, telling a CNBC in an interview that she believes the launch of China's cryptocurrency is right on the horizon, even issuing her own timeline. And that's Edith Young, a partner of Proof Capital, a blockchain-centric venture fund that has made investments in Binance Blockchain and Stellar. And pointing out here, Edith Young, who is a venture capitalist, technology executive, and the creator of the China Internet Report. As a China partner of 500 startups, Edith invested in more than 40 cross-border mobile AI and blockchain startups, including Silk Labs, acquired by Apple, Flesky, acquired by Pinterest, Human, acquired by Mapbox, AI Sense, Day Cook, App on Board, Hooked Oasis Labs, Stellar, Solana, Cocos, BCX, Palantir, etc. And Edith also worked with many Fortune 500 companies, including Siebel, AMS, AT&T Wireless, and Autodesk. And as you get down into her history, that you can also see that in addition to the core team, they're very fortunate to be supported by an all-star team of advisors, including Greg Kidd, who is the former chief risk of Ripple. So here, what I also wanted to share was, let's scroll up to the top really quick. It is the status of blockchain in Asia from China Internet Report author Edith Young. Now let's just scroll right back down. In the video, there is the interview with Edith Young, and states the question being, all right, give me a little snapshot, a little preview of China Internet Report for 2019, the biggest insight that you see for blockchain or crypto or innovation. Edith Young states, I think surprisingly the number one company in terms of blockchain is a company that you and I already know in financials. They're the number one in terms of valuation, $150 billion as a private company in the world. They actually already have internally many blockchain projects. And in fact, they want to push more and more enterprises on their blockchain ecosystems. Many of them are really sort of a form of Hyperledger. At least they are pushing. So it is very exciting to see. And then what I want to bring up here as well, just to make a point, adding to what she states with Hyperledger. Now this is I'm going to scroll up really quick. This is from the FDD, the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, the crypto rogues. Now let's scroll right back down to where we just were. And then we have here basically one initiative called the Borna, which features a partnership between CBI and the Informatics Services Corporation, which develops banking payment systems for Iran. CBI provides the funding through its partnership with Informatics to Iranian blockchain startup Ariatak. And then media reporting indicates that a team from Ariatak is working inside the Informatics office to develop an identity verification system as part of the Borna project. The Borna project uses, again, Hyperledger to create a private blockchain platform that operates without cryptocurrency mining. Indeed, because the central bank would control and disburse this cryptocurrency, mining is unnecessary. So a separate project is led by Iranian startup Kuknos, which is Persian for the Phoenix. And as we've always said, in our opinion, the Phoenix is stellar. And as you see from the report where it shows the Phoenix, around its neck, you have the golden stellar logo. So Kuknos is developing a gold-backed cryptocurrency called the Paymon, which would be used initially by 4 Iranian banks to allow for digitally tokenizing real-world assets, and 3 of the 4 banks are under U.S. sanctions. So the Paymon is built on the Stellar blockchain protocol, and the Stellar system is an open-source blockchain for creating payment infrastructure. Although the Iranian government has not formally endorsed the Paymon, Kuknos has signed multiple MOUs with various government technology and finance groups. And just a quick update in case you are unaware. This headline, Iran launches a gold-backed cryptocurrency covenant. The currency known as Paymon in Iranian is basically covenant in English, and it's based on the Stellar Lumen's XLM network, which is an open source code base and will trade in special exchange offices. But again, it is a gold-backed cryptocurrency based on Stellar. Only reason I'm bringing that up is, again, showing it's already connected to central banks. So you have China's central bank is partnering with SWIFT on a new joint venture. And again, knowing that the Huawei is connected to the DCRI, which is directly from the article previous, and Huawei launched its Hyperledger blockchain. And while Hyperledger connects back to IBM and to Stellar, and Stellar, on top of that, the SDF Foundation joined the Hyperledger Foundation as an associate member. And on the public network on Stellar, IBM provided the following Stellar-related DLT products. Ripple looking to replace or partner with SWIFT, while IBM uses Stellar to settle payments over the DLT, and knowing that the entire discussion is also DLT as well. And then we bring it back to the universe of DLT, and we have Hyperledger, Stellar, and Ripple. And again, even when Huawei, which is part of the connection prior, states about the quantum threat, knowing that IBM has the quantum computer, Google has the quantum computer. Google is also an investor in Ripple and Stellar. And then we have both Stellar and IBM are part of the project called Hyperledger Fabric, stating bringing back the connection there as well. You have Bank of China partnering with IBM to drive digital transformation. And then we want to finish up with a great deal of the assets in China as far as blockchain is concerned is really a form of Hyperledger. All right, guys, I hope that was very entertaining for you as well. When there's a lot of information to cover like that, it gets to be a little challenge on this end to keep it all organized for you, to make my point clear so that you're able to see my perspective and my view on how I see some of these articles. Remember, this is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. But before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought. Every morning you have two choices. You can continue to sleep with your dreams or wake up and chase them. Don't forget, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and please share this video. Much love, and we will catch you in the next one.